The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and Your Sports Network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow alone. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Welcome on into a Tuesday edition of Running Points presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Greetings and salutations. Ron Potesta with you. For the next 3 hours, we're chatting about local sports, regional sports, and sports in general. Hit me up on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline, 330-886-0813. That's 330-886-0813. Last night, the Trumbull County Coaches Association announced their Players of the Year, basketball players of the year. Congratulations to Molly Howard from McDonald and Cam Hollabaugh from Warren JFK. They are the recipients of the Trumbull County basketball players of the year for the Trumbull County Coaches Association. And also, Molly Howard, who had finished a brilliant career with McDonald. No surprise there. The beautiful thing about this award, it could have really gone to a number of quality candidates this year, but Molly Howard was a cut above, and Cam Hollabaugh was a cut above on the basketball floor for the guys. In Cam Hollabaugh's case, he becomes just the second player in the history of Trumbull County Player of the Year awards where the same athlete was given the honor for football as well as basketball. The first person to do this was Girard's Nick Cochran. He won the Trumbull County Football Player of the Year award in 1987, and he won the Basketball Player of the Year award in the 1987-1988 basketball season. So in the same calendar year, Nick Cochran became the first player, Trumbull County boys basketball and football player, to accumulate both awards in the same academic school year. Cam Hollabaugh last night becomes the second player in Trumbull County history to do this. He won the Trumbull County Football Player of the Year earlier, or I should say late in the football season in 2020. And same academic year, Cam Hollabaugh last night being named the Trumbull County Basketball Player of the Year, becoming just the second player to accumulate that. Now, Cam Hollabaugh will be going to college in the fall on a dual baseball and football scholarship at D2 Walsh, which leads me to this point. Has anyone been a three-time winner in the same calendar year? Because I got to assume, since Trumbull County is giving away their football player of the year, their basketball player of the year, I would hope that they're going to be doing, their baseball player of the year. Because if that's the case, he's got a pretty good chance at doing the old trifecta. He's got a pretty good chance at that. But congratulations to outstanding basketball players. Molly Howard for McDonald, Cam Hollabaugh for Warren JFK. By the way, Both of these teams, Division IV. Both of these teams are the smallest of the small schools in the state of Ohio, Division IV. Just throwing that out there. And this is coming from someone who graduated from a very small school, started in a very large school, graduated in a very small school. And I'm particularly impressed with the fact that both of these kids that were named Trumbull County Basketball Player of the Year happen to come from two of the smaller schools in the state of Ohio, being that they're Division IV programs. So congratulations to Molly Howard from McDonald and to Cam Hollabaugh from Warren JFK. It was made official yesterday that Poland basketball coach Ken Grisdale announced he is stepping aside from coaching 28 years as the head basketball coach at the Poland Bulldogs. We had him on earlier in the year when he got his 500th win. I have been a big fan of Coach Grisdale's for quite some time. The only thing that was never accomplished in Poland, and it is so damn difficult to do it, especially in today's game, around these parts at least. He never won a state championship. He went to the Final Four 3 times in his 28 years. He never won a state title. Now, that doesn't make him immediately off the charts for Mount Rushmore of boys high school basketball coaches. No. He's on that list. He's definitely on the very short list of Mount Rushmore type of coaches in boys high school basketball. Alan Burns is on that list. Rick Brook from Sebring would be on that list. Bobby LaRicca from Warren Western Reserve. Frank Sigletti from Youngstown Reagan. John Cullen, who has been coaching at Canfield for the last few years and was coaching over at South Range, for the last few years after an incredible journey at Canfield High School. There's a short list of coaches in boys basketball that are on this Mount Rushmore list. Look, 506 wins in 28 years. That's an average of 18 wins a year. Now, I understand that the tournaments are included in this. Okay, I get that. I understand that. You're averaging 18 wins a year. Now, Coach Grisdale also coached in an environment where I believe he started, 28 years ago. So he started in 1990, 92, 93. I want to say that the advent of 20 games was well into play. So he started his coaching career when you only had 20 games. Now, I say only because I'm from a product in the early 80s where up until the end of my sophomore year, which would have been 1979, 1980, you played 18 regular season games. And then in 1980-81, that was the first year where teams were allowed to play 20 games in the state of Ohio. And they didn't move the needle to 22 until about 10 years ago. So the majority of Coach Grisdale's career came with 20 games in the regular season. And then obviously you play in the tournaments. Coach Grisdale had a ridiculous amount of sectional titles. I believe it was 21 sectional titles, 11 district championships, and 3 regional titles. So to go from sectional to district, you would have to win depending on your seed and depending on whether you get a bye, 1 or 2 games. 2 games maximum, 1 game minimum. He did it 21 of 28 times. It was pretty good. In order to get a district championship, you have to win 3 minimum, 4 maximum. He did it 11 times. That's pretty good, especially against this caliber of competition around here. That's pretty good. 11 out of 28 is pretty good. And then you go into the regional tournament. He goes to the regional tournament 11 times, and he becomes a champion 3 of those 11 times. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. And I will repeat, 506 wins over the course of 28 years. That is an average of 18 victories a season. Now let's assume for a second that you're averaging 3 wins in the tournament trail. 3 or 4 wins in the tournament trail. It's probably closer to 3 because he only won 11 district championships, and that's 4 games or 3 games, and you did it 11 times. 21 of 28 times you won 1 or 2 games. I'm going to say you average somewhere around 3 victories, probably under 3, 2.5, 3 tournament wins a year. You're still having to win 15 to 16 regular season games. That's 15-7 or 16-6. Year after year after year after year after year. That's impressive. Yeah, that's consistency. That's the mark of a Mount Rushmore type of coach in the Mahoning Valley. And that's one of the reasons why Grisdale is on a very short list. In my humble opinion, he is on a very, very short list of coaches that I can look at and say without any hesitation, you were not a good, not a very good, a word that is completely overused in today's sports language. I actually hate how the word great is used in today's sports lexicon. Everyone wants to sit and say, oh, this person's great, this person's that great. I don't throw out great all that often. There's a reason for that. In my humble opinion, great is reserved for elite. Great is reserved for those that have earned that spot. You can sit back and say good. I got no problems with that. You can sit back and say very good. Again, I got no problems with that. But I only throw around the word great for the truly elite. In this particular case, Coach Grisdale had a great career. And I don't want to slight anyone. Memory may not be the greatest in the world, but off the top of my head in boys basketball, and certainly I would invite anyone to call in on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, 330-886-0813. The names that I can only come up with off the top of my head that I will put into the great category: Ken Grisdale, Alan Burns, who did a magnificent job at Boardman. And again, this is boys basketball. I'm not talking about girls basketball. I'm strictly talking about boys basketball. Ken Grisdale, Alan Burns, Rick Brook, who to me is the standard for coaches in Division IV and Class A ball. What he did at Sebring, good God, that was amazing. What he did at Sebring. Bob Larica at Warren Western Reserve. John Cullen, who did an amazing job both at Canfield and at South Range. And I'm sure I'm missing Frank Sigletti over at Rayen. Year in, year out, when Rayen was in their heyday in the 70s and early 80s, there's Coach Sigletti, and there's this team making an ungodly run into the tournaments and going down to state every so often. That just, those are the guys, to me, when I start talking about great careers, those guys jump out and stick out in my mind. Through the years that I've been blessed to do high school basketball and cover high school basketball. Now, in fairness, there's a period of about 12 or 15 years where I wasn't around. Now, it was during this point with Coach Grisdale roaming the sidelines at Poland. Most of those years, I was away. Now, that doesn't mean that I wasn't, reading the newspapers and catching the articles and not seeing these games in person, but seeing the records and whatnot. I just wasn't there to see the amount of games that I would normally see when I was still living here in the Mahoning Valley. So there was a period of time while I was off doing minor league baseball and whatnot where I wasn't available to watch a ton of games in the area because I wasn't living in the area. But those are the names that stick out to me in my mind as coaches that, for what it's worth, I believe have had great careers. And again, I'm just not one of these folks that throws out that word all that often because, frankly, number one, great is overused. And number two, it should only be reserved for those that have earned that moniker. To me, and again, maybe this is maybe this is just me being picky on the word. But to me, when someone sits back and says, "Oh, this guy is great," no, he's not, unless he's a Hall of Famer or someone that's about to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. That moniker should never be used. No. Do you have a great game? Okay, yeah, you could say if someone had a quote great game, yeah, sure, no problem. Well, this kid is great. Okay. I just. Yeah, it's a word that has been used way the hell too often in sports, and is used and is abused. Frankly, great should only be reserved for those that have earned that moniker, and in this case, Coach Grisdale has certainly earned that moniker, and I'll be curious to see. I'll be really curious to see. Who is going to replace Coach Grisdale over at Poland? That's going to be entertaining and very interesting to say the least. But 28 years, 506 wins. That's an average of 18 wins a year. More importantly, 156 losses. Span that out over 28 years. 5.5 losses a year. 5.5 losses a year. So think about this. Now, again, most of his career, Ken Grisdale was coaching 20 games. Most of his career. The last 10 or so years, he was coaching at 22 games. Most of his career, he was coaching at 20 games. 5.5 losses a year. So you're looking at 16.5 wins in a regular season. 16.5 wins, 5.5 losses. Okay, now in normal circumstances, let's do this real quick. Because Poland never won a state championship in basketball, this could be a really interesting way of doing this. Ken Grisdale coached for 28 years. So in 28 years, there was always one tournament loss per year because Poland never won a state championship. So we can take 28 losses off of his resume because it was one loss per year over the 28 years. One loss per year. So doing that, you're looking at 128 losses in the regular season, spanned out over 28 seasons. That's an average of 4.5 losses a year. To be exact, 4.57. So it's a little over 4.5 losses a year. Do you realize in a 22-game schedule that's 17.5 wins, 4.5 losses? In a 20-game schedule that's 15.5 wins, 4.5 losses. The guy wins. The guy's winning 15, 16-plus games every single year. That's why, in my humble opinion, he's great. I mean, he is a great coach. Absolutely fantastic coach. And he's on the short list for me as one of the best to ever do it in boys basketball in this area. No question about that. All right, yesterday I had an opportunity to check out, as an umpire, a junior varsity game between Boardman and Streetsboro. It was kind of fun. And for me personally, it was an opportunity to go back behind the plate. Now, the last time, this is kind of an interesting story. The last time I umpired a game from behind home plate was the summer of 2019. It was a 16U B-League game, and I took a foul ball that double kissed off my mask. It went here, bottom, top, off the screen. Somebody said it was the weirdest thing they'd ever seen. The ball had enough backspin on it where it popped me in the lower part of the mask, went up to the top part of the mask, and then skipped off of the fence behind home plate. Wound up going to the hospital that night and was diagnosed with a concussion. All right, whatever. So the rest of the baseball season, I basically said, let's just do the bases and let's go from there. Because I'm a little skittish about wanting to go behind the plate. A little skittish of that at that point. Last year was COVID, and for personal reasons that had nothing to do with not getting behind home plate, for any reason but to protect myself and protect my parents, I decided I'm not going to be behind the plate. And it just didn't know very much about this virus, and the spring sports was canceled last year. We had very little games in the summer last year, and what games that we did, I umpired from behind the pitcher's mound. So last night was the first chance and the first opportunity that I had since getting plastered in 2019 with a foul ball. So it was kind of interesting to go back behind the plate and to just call balls and strikes. And to which I told coaches after a long inning, I said, look, I'm going to be expanding the strike zone because this is an exhibition game and it really doesn't matter, who wins, who loses. But we want to get as much baseball in as possible. So I'm going to expand the strike zone a little bit and get everyone to swing the bat a little bit, and just move this game along so we can get more innings. Because who wants to just do a 2 or 3 or 4 inning game? Wound up doing like 5. I think we did 5 innings. So it was pretty good. One thing that, and it wasn't just about last night. This has been something that's been going on for a little bit, and I wanted to bring this up because I think it's not a criticism, but it's something that I'd love to have coaches essentially tell their kids this. in between innings, there is so much time that is wasted. And what I mean by that is kids aren't going on the field nearly as fast as they should. And because of that, you're wasting some valuable time. Now, I say this because high school baseball is going to be starting, and softball is going to be starting on Saturday. And unlike summer, you're not going to have all that much time to get your game in. In other words, March, April, big difference when the sun goes down as compared to May and June. You probably have at least 45 minutes to an hour of more sunlight the further along we go until June 21st, longest day of the year. It's when we have the greatest amount of sun. And then from that point, the days get shorter, albeit not demonstrably shorter, but over time the days get shorter. Right now, realistically, if you start a game at 5 o'clock, you have until about 7-ish, 7:15, somewhere in that vicinity before everything gets to the point where you're just not going to be able to play it anymore. Unless you have lights in the stadium, which very few stadiums do. You're just not going to be able to play. And so I bring this up in hopes that everyone understands. We're always racing against time, whether it be in life or your job. We're always racing against time. But for baseball, you're racing against sunlight. And for the kids to lollygag around and not get on the field quickly and get ready for the next half inning, you're not going to get very many of your games in from start to finish. And it's just so important for the coaches. And I was really impressed, and I'm always impressed with coaches that do this, but I was really impressed with Boardman and how they were trying to tell their kids, hey, look, you guys got to get on the field and off the field real quick. We're not going to be able to get very many games in if you don't do this. And I think it just bears repeating, especially when games are starting at 5 o'clock. You only have a certain amount of time. So a couple of suggestions, hopefully. First baseman, always put a ball in your mitt once you're into the dugout. 2 outs in an inning. If you're not anywhere close to being up in the batting order, get your stuff. Get ready to go out there. It's just little things like that that's going to move the game along. So you're going to be able to get more of your games finished. More importantly, you're going to get a better experience and the maximum experience on the field and in the plate. I've always been impressed with the quality of baseball that we have in this area. And I've said this on a number of occasions, and it bears repeating, and it is factual. In the last 10 years, we have had more representation in the Final Four, state semifinals and state championship games, in baseball and softball than any other sport. Now I'm going to say any other major sport. Football and basketball are the two major sports. Now, obviously, you can make a great argument. Track and field and cross country, we have an even better representation, and I would say absolutely to that. But as far as the three major sports, football, basketball, and baseball, and for girls, it would be girls basketball and softball. Volleyball would be one of their three major sports. Unfortunately, girls don't play, they don't have their own league in football. Volleyball for the girls in the fall, basketball in the wintertime, softball in the springtime. Of the three major sports, without any hesitation, we have more representation from our area in the state semifinals and state championship games in boys baseball and girls softball than any other sport. The talent level around here, it's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty solid. But the amount of games that we get completed early on in the campaign, it has to improve, and one of the ways that it has to improve is get these kids on the field and off the field as quickly as possible. That's the one thing I would love to see. I'd love to see a better job of, and hopefully that will be the case. I look forward to this season, and this is going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to having another really good year of doing high school baseball and high school softball. And by the way, speaking of which, we will have high school coaches call in, much like we did with football season and basketball season. We will have high school baseball and high school softball coaches calling in on a weekly basis, and we'll chew the fat with them. Talk a little bit about their program, talk a little bit about their season, and just essentially have a lot of fun with them. And from the perspective of an umpire, just have some fun with them and talk about some of the things that they do really, really well. I look forward to this. It's always fun to catch up with coaches from the area. I'm a big fan of some of the baseball and softball coaches around here. They do a tremendous job, just like any other sport around here. We're blessed. This area has some really, really good coaches. Regardless of the sport, we have some really, really good coaches in this area, and it's fun to catch up with those coaches and start talking their sport. It's an awful lot of fun. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. We made mention late in the show yesterday, Hall of Fame basketball player Elgin Baylor passing away, the age of 86, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he was 86 years of age. He passed away yesterday morning. Elgin Baylor was the first NBA player to score 70 points in a game. Back in 1962, he scored 61 points in an NBA Finals game against Boston. 61 points, which is still the benchmark for most points scored in a NBA Finals game. He averaged over 27 points and 13 and a half rebounds in his career. This guy was 6'5", and he's averaging 13 and a half rebounds a game. He never won an NBA championship, which blows my mind that he never did. But, he is considered to be one of the greats of all time. I would simply say he is one of the most underrated basketball players of all time. Long before Julius Erving and long before Michael Jordan, Elgin Baylor had that kind of high-flying, what's the word I'm looking for? Grace is such an interesting word. Above the rim type of player. His ability to take the ball to the basket amongst the tall trees in the forest, a.k.a. the centers, and there were some pretty good ones, dare I say great ones back in the day. Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, Nate Thurmond, Bob Lanier, to name a few. A very young Lou Alcindor, later Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He had the uncanny ability of going above the rim and doing stuff that preceded Julius Erving. In my generation, Julius Erving was, without question, a highlight film of all of himself. Michael Jordan, one of those guys, the guy behind me. He was another one that just, he was a human highlight reel. Everything that he can do, all the dunks, all of the stuff. Look, he wasn't the first one to do that. Julius Erving was as good as or better than Michael when it came to doing all of the dunks and all of the zaniness above the rim. And dare I say, Elgin Baylor was the first, the godfather of slam dunks and guys that were not behemoths playing above the rim. And it's amazing, and it just goes to the lack of basketball history, and in not just basketball, everyone has a lack of sports history. There's way too many flavor of the month type of fans that don't have a clue about sports history, and that's whatever. I mean, that's all over the place. Elgin Baylor is easily one of the top 15 basketball players of all time, easily. But because he never won a championship, you can see that everyone would dismiss him. I mean, well, never won a championship. Well, okay, I get that. Talent-wise, he's easily one of the 10, 15 greatest basketball players of all time. And it's if you have an opportunity to YouTube some of the stuff, holy smokes. Yeah, he was a damn good basketball player, a great basketball player. He's a Hall of Famer. It's greatness equals Hall of Fame. He was a great basketball player. All right, 330-886-0813. We'll take a timeout, be back with more. It is a Tuesday edition of Running Point. So I got to ask, with Coach Grisdale calling it a career after 28 years at Poland, who are some of the names in boys basketball that you believe are on the Mount Rushmore of high school boys basketball coaches in the Mahoning Valley? I named mine. I mean, to get down to four would be really tough to do, but the guys that off the top of my head, Ken Grisdale at Poland, Alan Burns at Boardman, Frank Segletti from Rayen, Bobby Larica from Warren Western Reserve, Rick Brook from Sebring, John Cullen, who has been coaching both at South Range and began his career, a very successful career, over at Canfield. Six guys right off the top of my head, and I'm sure there's other coaches that belong on this list as well. But those are the six guys I came up with off the top of my head in all the years that I was watching high school sports in the Mahoning Valley, high school basketball, boys basketball in the Mahoning Valley. Love to hear some of the names that you believe should be on this list. Hit me up on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline, 330-886-0813. We're back in a bit. It's a Tuesday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Hi, this is Jim Myers with Myers Family Insurance, your local Medicare and retirement resource. We're excited to have sports back. Whether you're on the field or cheering from the stands, sports unifies communities and brings hope for the future. We're all one team working together. At Myers Family Insurance, we know the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Baird Brothers remains your source for fine hardwood products. For the time being, we're open for customer pickup only on weekdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturday from 9 a.m. till noon. Place your order online at BairdBrothers.com. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
The 4M Company, being an architect and construction manager for over 40 years, has had the opportunity to use many different electrical businesses for our projects. The depth, quality, and knowledge and attention to detail displayed by Dickey Electric makes them stand out above all the rest.
For state-of-the-art expertise and a timeless commitment to our customers, contact Joe Dickey Electric. We are everything electrical.
The 2021 Auto Show must go on. Exclusively at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Save more during the Extra Mile Auto Show with employee pricing for everyone on some of our most popular models. Plus, get an additional $1,000 on the value of your trade. Schedule a test drive today to experience the 2021 lineup for yourself.
Visit GreenwoodAutoShow.com to see how Greenwood Chevrolet can go the extra mile for you.
First and last stop with your tax return should be with me, Tracy Bryden at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. No other dealer goes the extra mile to bring you the largest selection of vehicles at one convenient location. With guaranteed credit approval, I will find you the right vehicle and the right financing options for you. I am ready to go the extra mile to show you why no other dealer sells more cars, finances more, and gets you more for your refund than Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business, 330-886-0813. That's 330-886-0813. So stop if you've heard this one before. So many people wanting to pile on the front office of the Cleveland Indians and obviously the owner who a lot of folks in Cleveland have a serious problem with, and that would be the Dolan family. Paul Dolan is the majority owner of the Cleveland Indians, and there's a lot of fans that have a problem with Paul Dolan. This dates back to the time period, I want to say around 2007 or 2008, I'm sorry, when the Indians decided to trade away CC Sabathia because, well, they were going to be losing him, and they were not going to be able to re-sign him. They knew that they would never be able to have the money or the funds to sign him and still put together a really, really impressive team. Hence, they trade him away, and everyone loses their damn minds. The next year, Cliff Lee is traded away for the exact same reason. And now, ever since then, fans have a vendetta against Paul Dolan because, well, he doesn't spend a lot of money, to which I say, well, let's see. The Indians in the last 7 full regular season years have averaged 92 wins a year, been to the World Series once, been to the playoffs 4 or 5 of those 7 years, and they're bottom third in attendance. He's not going to spend money unless, you actually come and watch his product play. That's what a good businessman does. So everyone is now talking about how bad this team is going to be. Oh my God, look at this in center field. They've got Ahmad Rosario. They acquired him as to play shortstop, and now they're going to be putting him in center field. What the heck is going on? Oh my gosh, these people are so dumb. Yeah, they're so dumb that over the last 7 regular seasons, they've averaged 92 wins a year. They're so dumb that this team has been in the playoffs 4 or 5 years out of the last 7. Yeah, they're so dumb that this team was in the World Series and should have won the World Series had it not been for stupid injuries. Yes, I'm looking at you, Trevor Bauer. Can we please shut up about things that you clearly don't know very much about? Can we do this? Because these are the same people that wanted to give hall pass after hall pass after hall pass, and we got plenty more of these hall passes to pass along for the last 20 years of god-awful football on the lakefront from an owner that was pretty damn stupid until he finally got it right last year. And by the way, 11-5, and you won a playoff game. Congratulations. Your schedule's going to get a little bit more difficult. You're not playing the NFC East next year. No. You're not going to get 4 easy victories like you did last year playing the god-awful NFC East. I'm not saying the Browns aren't going to be good. They are. They're going to be solid. But their schedule's not going to be the easy schedule that it was last year. It's going to be more challenging. If they can win 11 games, that would be fantastic. Honestly, I'll wait on my prediction because we're a long way off. But the point in all of this is it's interesting that these fans want to crucify an owner that isn't spending money because you're not spending money for the product. And then you're in turn going to bitch about the players that are in camp because, well, you should be doing better. Okay, can we please put a little faith in this organization? This organization hasn't exactly gone out and grabbed a frontline free agent, although one would argue Edwin Encarnacion was a frontline free agent that the Indians grabbed in 2017. Why? Mainly because the Indians had gone to the World Series in 2016, and fans finally woke the hell up and put their ass in a seat and spent money, giving the owner an opportunity to spend money on the product. And unfortunately, the fans didn't show up again. This is a kind of a dog chasing its tail kind of a thing. People can sit back and blame the owner when in reality, if you're not spending money on the product at the stadium, you're part of the problem. You're part of the reason why this owner isn't spending a crazy amount of money because, well, you're not helping. Just all that aside, can we kind of sort of give this front office a little more credibility than what it should get? I mean, again, over the last 7 seasons in which 162 games were played, I can't include 2020 because it was a disaster. We didn't play anywhere close to 162 games. And by the way, this is going to be the last year that we're going to be playing 162 games because I'm going to guarantee you right here, right now, on the 23rd day of March in the year of our Lord 2021, there ain't going to be a 2022 baseball season. I'll be the first to tell you that right now. You won't have a 2022 baseball season because there is going to be an epic, and I do mean epic, shutdown and an epic battle for the very soul of the game of baseball between owners and management. This is going to probably be the last year of 162 games of baseball for some time. Probably won't be until 2023 before we get a full 162 game season in. And it would not surprise me if we go from start to finish, no baseball in 2022. That's how entrenched the Players Association is. This is going to be an ugly, and I do mean ugly, strike that's going to be coming up after 2021. So, all that being said, in the last 7 years in which Cleveland has always been a small market team, this team has averaged 92 wins a year over the last 7 years. Why? Well, they have a nice farm system. They've always had a nice farm system. When they don't, they've always sucked. Cleveland has a really nice farm system. And Cleveland tends to do a really good job of getting the absolute best out of their players. Now, I understand that people want to sit back and moan and groan about the fact that Ahmad Rosario, who was acquired in the Francisco Lindor deal, he's not a shortstop. He's not a center fielder. How the hell are we putting him in center field? Why isn't he? Well, he's not the shortstop because Jimenez beat him out. Andres Jimenez is going to be the shortstop for the Cleveland Indians for years to come. But Ahmad Rosario's bat is Major League ready. It's Major League ready. He's going to have to become an outfielder or in another position in which he has an opportunity to play in the major leagues. There's another kid that is in the exact same path as Ahmad Rosario. His name is Nolan Jones. Right now, Nolan Jones has nowhere to go. Nolan Jones by trade is a third baseman. Who's playing third base for the Indians this year? That would be Jose Ramirez. And Ramirez ain't going away anytime soon. Jose Ramirez isn't going to be dealt. Contrary to popular belief, Jose Ramirez is probably going to stay in Cleveland because he has a very team-friendly contract. He's probably going to stay in Cleveland until at some point in time in which the Indians say, hey, we got to pretty much know that the end of this run is near, so we're going to start trading away some of our veterans and rebuild this thing all over again, which is going to happen at some point in time. But Ramirez isn't going anywhere, at least for now, because he has a team-friendly contract. So where's Nolan Jones going to go? Well, Nolan Jones is going to have to find a home either across the diamond in first base or one of the corner outfield spots. That's what Nolan Jones is going to have to do in order to get to the major leagues. And he's going to do that. Nolan Jones will, in all likelihood, work to be a really good right fielder, take advantage of his arm, and that's where he's going to be. Ahmad Rosario is trying to become a center fielder. Why? Well, 2 reasons. Number 1, he's not going to be the shortstop. Jimenez is the shortstop. He beat him out. Number 2, his bat is major league ready. We got to find him as a position to play. And number 3, the Indians don't have a center fielder. The Indians have grade A garbage in center field right now. Bradley Zimmer is hurt all the time. And truth be told, he's 28 years of age. And the unwritten rule in baseball is flip the light switch on. If that light doesn't come on by the time this kid hits 26, there's a pretty good chance that light's never going to come on. Bradley Zimmer has about this much left in his career in Cleveland. And I know it's been injury, whatever. Injuries are part of the thing. It's a damn shame, but it is what it is. About this much left in his career. This is going to be the Missouri portion of Bradley Zimmer's career, the show me portion. Either show me you can play this game in center field on a consistent level, or you're out of here. And there's another kid that they signed as a free agent, Ben Gamble. He's in the same boat. Either show me how to play this, or show me that you can play this game on a consistent level, at the very least, a level in which you can destroy left-handed pitching. Because I got a guy that pretty much beat down right-handed pitching right now. His name is Ahmad Rosario. He just needs to learn how to play the position. And he's going to. He's athletic as all get out. He'll be fine in center field. They're just going to need to give him a lot of time, hence the reason why he's doing this in spring training and not during the course of the regular season. Drives me nuts when I'm hearing these people not giving this front office the proper respect that it should be given. These people have made a lot of really good things out of a bunch of garbage on paper. On paper, you look at this and you're like, this is garbage. They have turned garbage into 90-plus wins over the last 7 full Major League Baseball seasons. Can we please kind of give this front office the proper respect that it is due and kind of sort of, I don't know, support this team just a little bit more than what you've been doing? And I understand people are going to sit back and go, well, this team, they traded away Lindor. I don't want to support this team. Okay. Are you a fan of the team, or are you a fan of Lindor? Lindor plays for the Cleveland Indians. I happen to be a fan of the Cleveland Indians. Not any one particular player. I'm a fan of the baseball team. And I'm surely going to support this baseball team when I have the opportunity to. And hopefully after a couple of vaccinations, I'll be able to go to the stadium frequently and spend some money and go watch some baseball. Hopefully, knock on wood, we'll all be able to do that. By the way, I'm going to be real curious about something. And this, I want to bring this up, but in a sports context. I have the strange feeling, and I told my parents this, because my mom and dad are both in their 80s, and they were amongst the first to get their vaccinations. And God bless them. Anyone that is in the autumn of your life, you should probably get the vaccination. That's neither here nor there. But I want to spin this into a sports realm, because that's what this show is all about, and not just regionally. I want to talk about locally as well. I have a strange feeling that this is going to play a role in terms of who is going to be going to sporting events. I don't think we'll be with that with the high school. I sincerely doubt that. But I have a strange feeling that that's going to be on the table. I hope I'm wrong, but I have a strange feeling that, you haven't been vaccinated yet? No, we can't have you in our ballpark unless you're da-da-da-da-da. I get a strange feeling about that. I hope I'm wrong with that, but I just want all of this to be all said and done. Get back to normal and get back to playing the sports and seeing the sports and getting everyone back into watching, whether it be high school, college, the pros. To be honest with you, I mean, yesterday was kind of cool because you had people that went and put their lounge chairs up and kicked back and watched some baseball. That was kind of fun because you had some Streetsboro came and they brought some fans with them, so they had their lawn chairs out and everyone was having a good old time with this, and it was fun to watch. It was all kinds of fun to watch that. And hopefully, when we get the baseball and softball season started for real, starting this Saturday, that's the first day in which teams can play their games for real instead of the exhibition and scrimmages and whatnot. Hopefully, we'll get a lot of people, going to games. I go to Youngstown State, and as everyone knows, when the Penguins are home during the football season, I'm situated on the 10-yard line on the opponent's side of the field. The same side of the stadium is where the broadcasts are, in the smaller part of Stambaugh Stadium. And I get an opportunity every week to work with the replay coordinators. I'm the guy on the field that essentially hands the headset to the officials when he needs to talk to the replay directors if there's a play or something that has happened in which a replay is going to be used. So I get a really good opportunity to see firsthand how full the large part of Stambaugh Stadium is. And I'm really looking forward to the fall in hopes that we're going to have the opportunity to be full capacity again. And I think we will. I think that's going to be something that we will have this fall. But I'm hoping it's not at the expense of, your presence in this stadium is going to be determined on whether or not you chose to be vaccinated. I have a strange feeling that might be part of the caveat of going to sporting events. And I will be very interested in seeing if that is the case. I hope it isn't. I hope that we all are able to go to sporting events regardless. And I look forward to full capacity once again because, whether it's high school football, YSU, high school basketball, boy, especially high school basketball. I love hearing gymnasiums with a full capacity and the buzz and excitement level in a full capacity gym, watching an unbelievably great basketball game. God, I love that. That's a good time. And watching a bunch of fans set up their lawn chairs scattered all throughout the high school baseball and softball fields. That's cool as well. And I look forward to seeing all of that. I just hope that it's not at the expense of your attendance is going to be depending upon what you have chosen to do in terms of the vaccine. I'll be curious to see if that comes about. I have a strange feeling that might be a road that is taken, and I hope it isn't. I just have a strange feeling it could be. Again, at the top of the show, we announced this. Trumbull County does a really nice job. After each major season in high school sports, football and basketball in particular, Trumbull County announces their Player of the Year. And last night, Trumbull County presented their boys and girls high school Trumbull County High School Basketball Player of the Year. Molly Howard won the award last night, and she was one of the many senior players on Tony Mattesi's team, and one of the many leaders on this McDonald team that became a team that went to the Final Four. And as we have said countless times, you take a team to a Final Four in any sport, you have done an absolutely amazing accomplishment. Now, you win a state championship, okay, obviously, that's on another level, a little bigger level. But to even get to the Final Four, man, that's an amazing accomplishment. Because you think about this, you got to win maximum, you have to win 6 consecutive games. At the very least, you have to win 5. And in theory, the harder or the longer you're in the postseason, the harder the competition is. And there's some luck involved in this. But, you know, it's obviously not easy to win 5 or 6 games in a row and become one of the 4 best teams in your division. It's not easy to do. There's a lot of teams in this area that have never pieced together 3 or 4 wins to win a district championship, let alone adding 2 more wins to win a regional championship and an opportunity to go to Columbus, Dayton, or wherever the state tournament is held. So to get to the Final Four, amazing accomplishment. And one of the main reasons, I think, Molly Howard was named Trumbull County Player of the Year. An outstanding year. Just an amazing, amazing year for McDonald. And very worthy of the award, because this is not just a one-year thing. Molly Howard has been an amazing basketball player for McDonald for the last 4 years. She's going to leave that school as one of the best, if not the best, basketball player to ever come out of McDonald High School for girls basketball. And then on the other side, Cam Hollabaugh was named the Trumbull County Boys Basketball Player of the Year. And this is an interesting thing. Cam Hollabaugh becomes just the second boys player in the history of this award to have been given this award for both football and basketball in the same year. Now, what do we mean by the same year? Well, you would have had to have won the award, in Cam Hollabaugh's case, 2020, earlier. After the football season was over, late last year, Cam Hollabaugh was given the award as Trumbull County High School Football Player of the Year, 2020. Later in the academic school year, that is 2020, 2021, last night, after basketball season, Cam Hollabaugh given the Trumbull County Basketball Player of the Year. There's only one other boys player in the history of Trumbull County Player of the Year awards that has ever done this. Nick Cochran. Nick Cochran won the award as the quarterback for the Girard Indians in 1988. He won the Football Player of the Year award in Trumbull County. And then in the 1988-89 basketball season, Nick Cochran, who led Girard, I believe they went to the state semifinals that year. Not 100% sure. I believe that was the case, though. Nick Cochran was named Trumbull County Boys Basketball Player of the Year. So he's the only other person to have ever done what Cam Hollabaugh did last night. Now, here's the thing, and I honestly don't know if Trumbull County does do a Baseball Player of the Year. I know they do an incredible job doing the football and basketball players of the year. I don't know if they do baseball player of the year, but if they were to do baseball player of the year, Cam Hollabaugh has a chance to three-peat, where he would be in one school year the Trumbull County football, basketball, and baseball Player of the Year. Whoa. That's that would be that would be an absolutely ridiculous accomplishment. And look, I mean, the fact that he's only the second boys athlete to ever win football and basketball Player of the Year in the same year, and to have his name shared with an athlete like Nick Cochran, that's rarefied air. That is very rarefied air for Cam Hollabaugh to be named. And again, I don't know if Trumbull County does have a baseball Player of the Year, but if they were to have a baseball Player of the Year, Cam Hollabaugh is a damn good baseball player. I wonder if that is something that is in the realm of possibility. Because I'm going to tell you what, that would be an icing on top of a perfect cake, as far as I'm concerned. And I made mention of this earlier. The thing that I love about the awards that were given out last night, Molly Howard plays at McDonald, Cam Hollabaugh plays at Warren JFK. Both of those programs are Division IV. They're the smaller schools. They're amongst the smallest schools in the state of Ohio. D4 is the championships for the quote little guys, and I think it's pretty cool that the Trumbull County basketball Players of the Year are both from small schools. In a world in which pre-YSN, I'll say this. In a world in which the smaller schools didn't get a whole lot of coverage or recognition pre-YSN. And I can even say the same thing for Columbiana County. Columbiana County, in comparison to Mahoning and Trumbull, not exactly the greatest amount of coverage. I'll be honest. I mean, it's not a chip that I'm putting on my shoulder. It's obvious. Pre-YSN, that was the case. Now, thankfully, since YSN has come onto the scene, two things have been taken care of, and rightfully so. And I just think it's fantastic. Of course, this is coming from someone who graduated from a small high school. I think this is fantastic that the Players of the Year in Trumbull County are both Division IV schools. I think that's outstanding. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. We made mention of the announced retirement of Ken Grisdale after 28 years. Ken Grisdale will leave the Poland Bulldogs. He officially announced his retirement. Made mention of the numbers. Some great numbers. He finishes with over 500 career wins. Break it out over a span of 28 years. You're talking about an average of anywhere from 16 to 18 wins. 156 losses. Most of Coach Grisdale's era, most of his 28 years, were spent when basketball was only a 20-game schedule. I want to say 10 or 12, the last 10 or 12 years have been, we're going to play 22 games now. But, man, if you're getting 15, 16, 17 wins consistently year after year after year, boy, you're doing something right. And we made mention of this earlier. For boys basketball, he is on a very short list. I came up with 6 coaches in all the years that I watched or covered high school sports. I came up with 6 coaches off the top of my head that had unbelievable success, whether it's amount of wins, trips to Columbus or wherever the Final Four was played, state championships. The names I came up with, other than Ken Grisdale, Bob Larica at Warren Western Reserve, Alan Burns at Boardman, John Cullen, who has been an unbelievable coach, whether it was at Canfield or at South Range, Rick Brook over at Sebring. I spent many, many, many years at Sebring. They were the benchmark for basketball in Class A / Division IV. And when the old Tri-County League was in its heyday, year in, year out, they were the team to beat. They were the benchmark. And then I had Frank Sigletti over at Youngstown Rayon, who, again, year in, year out, that program was, oh goodness, they had some amazing athletes coming out of that program, and Coach Sigletti got the absolute best out of all of those kids and led Rayon to a couple of state championships, and some players that went along and played some major college basketball. Joe James and I believe Greg Jones, two guys that graduated in the mid to late 70s. I want to say that they both played their collegiate basketball at West Virginia. Just an amazing basketball program and a great coach. And those are the other five guys that I came up with that are in the same ballpark as Coach Grisdale. And I'll be curious to see the direction that Poland goes to. I mean, this is a gigantic loss, not just for Poland. It's a gigantic loss for this area in terms of incredible coaches. We've been blessed in all sports. We have been blessed with some really, really good high school coaches in a lot of really good sports. And I'm going to be real curious to see where we go, where Poland goes with this. This is going to be interesting. And it's going to be weird not seeing Coach Grisdale roaming the sidelines, courtside, with Poland. That's going to be strange. All right, 330-886-0813. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business. We take a timeout. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to talk YSU baseball with Dan Burtolini. Penguins, they got off the schneid in a real hurry. They put together an amazing weekend of baseball as they opened up Eastwood Field, the home portion of their schedule, with 3 very impressive victories over St. Bonaventure out of the Atlantic 10. And just an outstanding performance by the Penguins. And we will talk Penguins baseball with the skipper, Dan Burtolini. That will be coming up at the top of the hour. This is a Tuesday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. If you're in the market for a brand new or slightly used automobile, you owe it to yourself and you owe it to your wallet to check out the good folks at Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. They have a great sales department, great service department, great finance department. What does that mean? Well, you're not going to get sold a lemon. The sales department will not sell you a lemon. You're not going to be paying a ridiculous high interest rate. The finance department will take care of that. And if you happen to wrap your baby around a telephone pole, or if your baby needs oil service or just normal wears and tears of an automobile, the service department will make sure that your car is in tip-top shape. That's the greatness that is Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. So before you put pen to paper and sign the next 6 to 7 years of your life away with a high interest rate or a high loan payment, you owe it to yourself to give Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown an opportunity to win your business. You will not be sorry. I promise you that. All right, we're back with more after this timeout. Stick around, more to come.
Your teams work hard and give it all they've got. Well, so does ours, because 21 Sports and YSN give you extra effort when covering local sports. 21 Sports and YSN, winning coverage of our Valley's teams.
No matter what the weather, be prepared with a reliable, efficient Rude gas furnace or air conditioner from MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Call your energy efficient expert, MP Vivo, today for a free estimate.
Here at MP Vivo, we rely on Rude, and so should you.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
It's storm season,
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
and Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye
On air,
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
online,
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
on social media, and on our app.
Notice we'll have scattered showers on Thursday.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Save more during the Extra Mile Auto Show with employee pricing for everyone on some of our most popular models. Plus, get an additional $1,000 on the value of your trade. Schedule a test drive today to experience the 2021 lineup for yourself.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Hopefully everyone's bracket is better than mine. If you filled out a NCAA basketball bracket, hopefully yours is better than mine. Mine is shot to hell. I made mention of this yesterday. Isn't it amazing that year after year, you'll watch a team or a conference play, and you get the you get the, and I'll use air quotes here, experts that will tell you, oh, this is without question, this is the best league in all of sports. This is the best league, and year in and year out, I've heard how great the Big Ten is in the regular season, only to see the Big Ten absolutely year in, year out, crap on themselves as a conference. And I thought maybe, just maybe, this was going to be the year that the Big Ten would make a statement. So I had Iowa going to the Elite Eight. I had Illinois winning the entire tournament. I had Ohio State going to the Sweet 16. There's only one team left in the Big Ten, Michigan. Yeah, look, Michigan's a basketball program, so they should be the one team left. They're now a basketball school. They're sure as hell not a football school anymore. So, yeah, they're a basketball school. And truth be told, I have Michigan going to the finals. Michigan playing Illinois at an all Big Ten national championship game. Be the last time that I ever even remotely consider putting Big Ten teams that deep into the tournament. God, what a terrible job. And on the flip side, what an amazing job by the Pac-12, a conference that, let's be honest, no one has really talked all that much about the Pac-12. Look, we're on the East Coast, or the eastern part of the country. We're not on the East Coast. We're Midwest, albeit barely in the Midwest, barely on the outskirts of the East, barely on the outskirts of the Midwest. It's kind of like a kid being born in 1964, the end of the baby boomer era, and 1965 is the beginning of Generation X. I happen to fall into that category, so people are like, you're barely on the outside of baby boomers, barely on the outside of Generation X, kind of in between. That's what Ohio is. Well, look, I mean, the Pac-12, far west, that's more of folks in Arizona, California, Washington, Oregon. You know, those people, they love their Pac-12, and because they start their games mainly 3 hours later than we start our games because of the time zone difference. Not many of us get an opportunity to watch very many Pac-12 games. Pac-12's been tearing it up this year in the NCAA tournaments. And, I didn't have UCLA beating Michigan State. I thought Michigan State would win because clearly the Big Ten's the better conference. And here's UCLA. They not only won the play-in game, by the way, they're in the Sweet 16. Great. So hopefully your bracket is in better shape than my bracket, because my bracket is pretty much toast, pretty much. No brackets here, but kind of a strange decision. Bob Hannon brought this up yesterday when we had him on. Illinois State is the first team to opt out of the spring season for FCS football. Illinois State, a lot was expected of the Redbirds. Illinois State is a college that is situated about an hour north of the state capital of Springfield, Illinois. It's in the Bloomington-Normal area. Two communities that are about 2 hours due south of Chicago on I-65. Illinois State's a beautiful campus. I used to live in Springfield and had plenty of opportunities to go up into Bloomington and check out ISU. Beautiful, beautiful campus. Well, Illinois State is 1-3 on the campaign. They won their first game over the weekend against Western Illinois, and no disrespect to Western Illinois, they aren't good. They're not good. Youngstown State will hammer them when they play Western Illinois. Next Saturday? They'll hammer Western Illinois next Saturday when they play them. But Illinois State decided to hang it up. And as Coach Brock Spack said, the decision was to ensure the health and safety of the players. The defensive line apparently had been hit really hard by injuries. Well, here's the interesting part of their decision. Their decision has some ramifications to it, and here's what I mean by that. Illinois State was to have played South Dakota State this week. South Dakota State is in a three-way tie for first place in the Missouri Valley Football Conference with North Dakota and North Dakota State. North Dakota will be coming to Youngstown to take on YSU this Saturday. North Dakota is coming off a rather humbling loss to North Dakota State, 34-13 over at the Fargo Dome. North Dakota was to have played Illinois State in the last game of their season. They now have 2 games left on their schedule. North Dakota State had already played Illinois State, so they have 3 games left on their schedule, including a matchup with South Dakota State and Northern Iowa. South Dakota State is 4-1. They will lose their game this week against Illinois State, and it's not going to be considered a win. It's just a canceled game. South Dakota State will probably have to win one of the final 2 games to get into the postseason. They have South Dakota and they have North Dakota State, and they're probably going to be 5-2. 5-2, yeah, you should be able to get into the playoffs. And again, the playoffs are going to be from 24 teams all the way down to 16 teams. 5-2 will probably get you into the postseason, although one of their 2 losses happened against North Dakota. North Dakota beat them 28-17. North Dakota has 1 loss on the campaign, and they only have 2 games left because their game against Illinois State is going to get canceled. Their game on Saturday against Youngstown State not only has implications for a possible divisional championship, it also has implications for a possible playoff berth. North Dakota State also has to play Missouri State, who is currently 3-1 in the league, 3-4 overall. Missouri State's actually been playing really good in the Missouri Valley Football Conference. North Dakota State is the team that is going to be pretty much getting the beneficiary of Illinois State calling it quits. They had already played Illinois State earlier in the year and beat them 21-13. North Dakota State has 3 games left in their season. Now, that's 1 more game in comparison to North Dakota and South Dakota State. Both of those teams had not played Illinois State yet, and they're ultimately going to lose that particular game. Youngstown State, they weren't scheduled to play Illinois State, so it does not come back to haunt Youngstown State. But make no mistake about this, Illinois State bowing out now could very, very, very easily cost North Dakota or South Dakota State not only a share of a league championship, it could cost one of these programs. And if it's one of these programs, it's probably going to be South Dakota State because North Dakota beat South Dakota State head-to-head. It may very well cost one of these programs a postseason playoff berth. Look, I'm of the, and it's an old school thought, but I am of the camp of if you have committed to do something, you have to honor that commitment. I'm disappointed in Illinois State. Now, listen, I understand if the player's safety is the big reason why you're doing that. Okay, I get it. I'm still not I'm still not really happy with this decision. And I'll be real curious to see how Illinois State is regarded or treated when we start going into the fall and assuming, knock on wood, everything gets back to some sort of normalcy where we actually have a normal football season. I'm going to be curious to see how the rest of the teams in the Missouri Valley Football Conference look at Illinois State this fall. I'm going to be curious of that because Illinois State leaving certainly did not give North Dakota, South Dakota State any favors. They've lessened the schedule by one game, and both of these teams now may not get the opportunity to win the division because North Dakota State has one more game because they played Illinois State earlier in the year. So this will be very interesting to see what happens. Speaking of the Missouri Valley Football Conference, Grant Dixon, the YSU's linebacker, Grant Dixon, was named the Missouri Valley Conference Defensive Player of the Week, and why not? He got in on a sack. He forced a fumble. He made an unbelievable interception, all in the victory over South Dakota. The Penguins' first victory of the campaign. Congratulations to the Missouri Valley Football Conference Defensive Player of the Week, Grant Dixon. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline open for business. Very interesting story coming out of Cleveland. We made mention of the Indians and how this front office is being completely disrespected. I just don't understand why people are not giving this front office the respect that it deserves. Side note on this, Paul Dolan announced a few days ago that by the middle of the year, we should know if the Indians can change their name to whatever you're going to call this team for the 2022 season. Apparently, there is a chance that the Cleveland Indians are not going to be the Cleveland Indians after 2022. Apparently, we may still be calling this team the Cleveland Indians all the way through 2022, which everyone was pretty much told. And there's a pretty good chance this is it, that the Cleveland Indians, that this will be the last year that Cleveland uses this nickname. And then in 2022, they're going to bring a new nickname to the forefront. And for the first time in over 100 years, we will have a brand new nickname for this team. Now, way back in the day, they were called the Cleveland Spiders. There were a couple of other names for the franchise before they finally settled on the nickname Indians. And in today's weird era, everyone is now wanting to change things. Cancel culture, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. They're going to change the name. But and now, apparently, there's a chance that the name may not get changed until 2023, which brings up a very interesting conspiracy theory. And you know how I love conspiracy theories. Although this one may not be a very cool conspiracy theory. This one actually might be a conspiracy theory that would be pretty horrible if it comes to light. Everyone should know this. The Indians have a gorgeous stadium. Progressive Field. Used to be Jacobs Field. It's now called Progressive Field. Anyway, the lease on this stadium is up at the end of the 2022 season. And if you want to buy into this conspiracy theory, dig far enough down a rabbit hole, you can find a juicy conspiracy theory. Here's the one that I've been hearing. Well, since the Indians are going to be, leases up at Progressive Field at the end of 2022. Call it the Indians until the end of 2022. Dolan sells the team, and the team moves to Nashville, which is jonesing for a brand new Major League Baseball team. Okay. A couple of holes in that theory. The biggest of which is Nashville, though they do have a beautiful new stadium, nowhere near Major League ready, nowhere near, as far as my knowledge is concerned, nowhere near the amount of seats, nor do they have the accessibility to build on that stadium. Interestingly enough, the city of Buffalo, when they built their brand new complex, which really isn't brand new, it's more like 30 years old now, but they built a complex in downtown Buffalo over near the arena where the Sabres play. They built a stadium that the capacity back when they built it was 20 or 21,000. I think it was closer to 20. Well, they had girders that stuck out in their building. And they purposely put these girders all around the top part of their stadium in hopes that the city of Buffalo, way back in the day when they were, I think they did this twice. They drew over 1 million fans for minor league baseball, which is unheard of. I think there are only one of two franchises that have ever done that, where they've a minor league franchise drew over 1 million fans. Buffalo did this in hopes that they would get a major league team. When they built this stadium, they put girders all around the stadium, and they still have them, to where if they were to get a major league stadium, then they would have the girders set up, and all they would need to do is build a second deck, and you have your stadium to seat 40,000 or 35 or 40,000 fans. They had that in place. To my knowledge, Nashville does not have, in their gorgeous new ballpark, Nashville does not have an opportunity to expand their stadium. So if Nashville were to get themselves a Major League Baseball team, which, truth be told, if Major League Baseball wanted to expand to 32 teams, Nashville would be on the short list. I think that they would be on the list. Montreal would be on the list. A couple of other communities, major metropolitan cities, would in all likelihood be on the list. But to my knowledge, I don't believe Nashville has that stadium set up where they can add on and make it a major league baseball facility. Right now, it's a minor league facility that seats, I want to say, 15,000, if that. I don't believe it's major league ready. So that kind of throws that out the window. And one would assume that you would probably have to spend a boatload more money to build a brand new facility, and I just don't think Nashville's going to do that. So, look, I mean, I understand that everyone is thinking that the Dolan sells the team will automatically leave. I'm not buying that. I'm just not. I don't buy into that theory whatsoever. I think that the Indians have a ridiculously beautiful facility. And I think it's just a matter of dotting the I's, crossing the T's, get a long lease together, and this team is ready to go. Whether it's owned by the Dolan family or someone else, I think that's what's going to happen. But I'll be curious to see by the middle of this year. I guess we'll find out whether or not this team remains the Cleveland Indians for another year, or if they're going to wait until 2022, or just say, okay, 2021, we're going to come up with this and go from there. Look, from a marketing standpoint, we've talked a little bit about this. From a marketing standpoint, I think one of the coolest things that they can do is not only do you change the name. I mean, if you're going to do this, then let's really do this. Not only do you change the name, you change the color scheme and rebrand your product and get the gear out, and let's see if the fans will buy the gear. I remember years ago, I had just gotten into the Southern League, which is, well, it used to be a AA minor league system. I don't even know what the hell they're calling this league anymore. But I think it was in 2004 or 2005. No, it was 2004. Orlando was the Tampa Bay Rays AA franchise. And they used to play their games in Disney, in the Disney World properties, the wonderful world of sports. Or the complex was beautiful, but nobody showed up. I mean, Orlando's a beautiful city, but I mean, let's be honest. If you're there to go to Disney. You're not there to watch a minor league baseball game. It's hard to market a team. So Tampa, they wanted their AA team to be somewhere else, and the owners sold the team to a husband and wife owners, and they moved the team from Orlando, Florida, to Montgomery, Alabama. All right, Montgomery, beautiful city in the South. I would wholeheartedly suggest everyone make a trip down there because it's beautiful. And the ballpark itself is, oh my God, it's gorgeous. The ballpark is in a converted old train station. Weird as it sounds, it converted into an old railroad depot. This is where the ballpark is now. It's a fascinating story. Anyway, they came up with the nickname Biscuits for Montgomery. And a lot of people looked at them and said, what the hell? Why would you do that? Until everyone saw the merchandise. The merchandise, you had this figure that still remains, as of today, it still remains. They had their mascot, a normal baseball type of mascot. And the mascot had a pad of butter for his tongue. Sold like hotcakes. Sold like hotcakes. I mean to tell you, people were buying this stuff up. And it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. And it's this. The same thing can be done for the major league team with the Indians. The Indians have an opportunity twofold to make some serious do-re-mi. Number one, their local TV contract is up either the end of this year or the end of next year. Their local TV contract is up. They're going to make a lot more money on their TV contract. And if they remarket this team and drop the name Indians and change it to another name and have some really, really cool gear, and if it's a different color scheme, whatever, everyone and their brother is going to want this gear, depending on how popular it is. the Indians could be raking in some serious, serious money. So even though everyone's just, thinking aloud, oh my God, is this toward the end? Or the Indians actually going to leave Cleveland? I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it at all. As a matter of fact, I think that it's quite the opposite. I think that the Indians could very easily be a franchise that is very close to being mucho dinero with their franchise. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. With you till 3 o'clock. Dan Burtolini, the manager. I hate using the term head coach for baseball, but he runs the YSU baseball program. Penguins swept St. Bonaventure over the weekend. Just an outstanding performance by the Penguins as they got off the schneid and was able to, after getting beat by Wright State, they were able to do a really nice job getting back into the win column as they get the victory over St. Bonaventure. And as we look in the Horizon League baseball standings, Wright State is still unbelievable. They're now 12-0 in the Horizon League. Over the weekend, Wright State took a 4-game series from UIC. They scored 12 runs in each of their last 3 games en route to a 4-game sweep of UIC. Purdue, Fort Wayne, and Milwaukee are tied for second place in the Horizon League with a 4-4 record. This is a Purdue Fort Wayne team that dropped 3 out of 4 to the Penguins. They dropped 3 out of 4 to the Penguins. They took 3 out of 4 from Oakland. So Purdue Fort Wayne is 4-4 on the campaign. Milwaukee is 4-4 on the campaign. Milwaukee split a 4-game series with UIC, and they split a 4-game series with Northern Kentucky. Northern Kentucky is 5-7 on the campaign. They're on a 2-game losing streak. Northern Kentucky lost all 4 to Wright State and proceeded to take 3 out of 4 against Oakland and split a series with Milwaukee. So the Northern Kentucky team is 5-7. Penguins are 3-5, 8-11 overall. Oakland and UIC are both 2-6 on the campaign. The Penguins are playing Wright State again this weekend, and let's say that these 4 games are going to be played at Eastwood Field up in Niles, and there's some retribution, some serious retribution that the Penguins need to do against Wright State. This is a team that beat the Penguins all 4 games down in Dayton. And the Penguins, they did a great job over the weekend. They took a doubleheader from St. Bonaventure, 6-4 and 7-1, and then they wound up winning on Sunday in a big way. They exploded for 22 runs and buried St. Bonaventure 22-6. They're on a 3-game winning streak, and the Penguins, they get a little retribution in mind as they take on Wright State. And again, Wright State has run through the Horizon League to this point. They are on a 12-game winning streak. They're off to a 12-0 record in the Horizon League. Now, Wright State, after their 4-game series with the Penguins, They will play a 4-gamer with Purdue Fort Wayne, a 4-game series with Oakland, 3 more against Northern Kentucky, 4 more against Purdue Fort Wayne, 4 more against Milwaukee, and 4 more against Oakland. And then their season is over. Penguins, if they want to get themselves into an opportunity to get into second place, solidly into second place, Penguins are going to have to do a number on Wright State this weekend. And truth be told, Penguins took 3 out of 4 from a team that is currently sitting in second place in Purdue Fort Wayne. So I think the Penguins are in that situation where you can argue they could very easily be the second best team in the Horizon League. But they're going up against the benchmark. This is their second meeting with Wright State, and I'm going to be real curious to see the painful lessons of the previous weekend and what the Penguins can expect. They've already seen Wright State once, what they can expect this week, and hopefully, knock on wood, how things are going to be a whole lot different this weekend when the Penguins play Wright State at Eastwood Field. Again, these games are going to be 5 o'clock on Friday afternoon, 1 o'clock and 4:30 on Saturday, and 1 o'clock on Sunday. And weather-wise, and I know we're, 3 or 4 days out, actually 3 days out from the from Friday. 3 days out from Friday. Let's take a look at the forecast for Niles. On Friday, we are looking at 60 degrees for a high with a 70% chance of rain, light rain albeit. 64 degrees on Saturday, and a 70% chance of rain on Sunday with a high of 54 degrees. So the forecast is not promising, but certainly still far enough away where we may very well wind up having some good weather for this weekend. But make no mistake about it, this is retribution week for the Penguins as they take on Wright State this weekend and hopefully get a little bit of revenge over what happened the previous weekend when the Penguins lost 4 games to Wright State. We'll catch up with the manager, the skipper of the YSU baseball program, Dan Burtolini. That's coming up next. It is a Tuesday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
Your first and last stop with your tax return should be with me, Tracy Bryden at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. No other dealer sells more cars, finances more, and gets you more for your refund than Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. With our combined 70 years experience and comprehensive wealth strategy, we assist our clients attain their goals. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services, or visit wrswealthadvisors.com. Good luck, athletes!
Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN.
Ah, the details.
Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
For heating, cooling, and indoor air quality, the Mahoning Valley trusts MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning, offering worry-free repair, service, and installation. Call MP Vivo today for a free estimate.
MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. We're your energy-efficient experts.
At Hubbard Chevrolet, Hubbard can help you get the financing you need, regardless of your situation. I'm Tony Page, and I've helped thousands of customers in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania buy a vehicle. Bad credit, no problem. I can get you approved for a low-interest loan and maybe even a low-payment lease on a new car at the #1 Chevy dealership in Trumbull County for 3 years in a row. Visit HubbardChevy.com to get pre-approved or come see me, Tony Page, to get a new vehicle today. Remember, folks, Hubbard can help.
News doesn't stop after the sun goes down. Sometimes you just have to hustle to get it. At 21 News, no matter how far it is, no matter what it takes to get there, we're working to bring you the best stories and the freshest content at 11 p.m. with the context and clarity that makes it worth staying up for, no matter what time it is. 21 News at 11 with me, Aaron Simonek, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 11, news that's worth your time.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business, 330-886-0813. That's 330-886-0813. Waiting to hear from the head coach / manager of the YSU baseball program, Dan Burtolini, as he joins us normally at this time every Tuesday on Running Point, and hopefully we will catch up with the manager of the YSU baseball program, Dan Burtolini. Again, Penguins had a great weekend. They get all 3 of their games as they swept St. Bonaventure, and we made mention the Bonnies had not played a game through last weekend. They had not gotten a game in. Mainly because of COVID issues, and they played their first 3 games of this season, and the Penguins were able to win all 3 of their games. And they took game 1 6-4, bounced the Bonnies 7-1 in the middle game, and then exploded for 22 runs en route to a 22-6 victory in the final game of this series against St. Bonaventure. Penguins are on a 3-game winning streak, and the Penguins 8-11 on the campaign as they take on 12-0 Wright State, 12-5 overall, 12-0 in the conference. The Penguins are currently 3-5 on the campaign. They're 5 games out in the loss column. They have played 4 fewer conference games than Wright State. They've played 4 fewer conference games than Wright State. As a matter of fact, let's see, there are 7 teams in the Horizon League. 2 of them have played 12 conference games. Wright State is 12-0. Northern Kentucky is 5-7. The rest of the conference, Purdue, Fort Wayne, Milwaukee, YSU, Oakland, and UIC, have all played 8 conference games. When it's all said and done, everyone's going to get the same amount of conference games when it's all said and done. The Penguins have, 4, 8, 12, 16, 24, 28. Penguins have 32 conference games left. So there's going to be 40 conference games that will be played. 40 conference games that will be played. So the Penguins have an awful lot of games left. And it's just unfortunate for YSU that they're seeing Wright State so quickly on their baseball schedule. We saw Youngstown, or I should say we saw Wright State last weekend, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. And it's a quick turnaround for the Penguins. And then the Penguins will continue on with their schedule. The Penguins will wind up against Oakland, 4 more against UIC on the road, 4 against Purdue Fort Wayne in Youngstown, and then 4 more against Milwaukee in Youngstown. Wright State so quickly. They played Wright State March the 12th and 13th and 14th. And here we are 2 weeks later, they're playing Wright State again, which it's strange. I mean, to give you a little reasoning why that's strange, UIC next weekend. The Penguins are going to play UIC April 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd. Well, they won't see UIC again end of April, April 30th, May 1st, and May 2nd. Milwaukee, Penguins go to Wisconsin April 23rd. The Penguins have not seen Oakland yet, already played they play Northern Kentucky. As we mentioned, they play Purdue Fort Wayne at Eastwood Field May the 7th, May the 8th, and May the 9th. So it's weird that the Penguins are the 3-game sweep of St. Bonaventure. We bring in the manager of the YSU baseball program. That would be Dan Burtolini. Dan, how are you today, sir?
I'm good, Ron. How are you?
I'm good.
And many of those on the good side of that. It was just good. We really worked hard all week on making some adjustments on some things that we were doing offensively, just adjusting our training a little bit, and it paid off. Coach Smith and Coach Pinnell do a great job with our hitters, and we kind of sat back after the Wright State series and kind of figured out, hey, what do we need to do to get better? I thought we did a great job executing that this weekend. Just overall, I mean, all the games, I thought, offensively we were pretty good. So, but kind of all came together there on Sunday. They made some errors, which led to some extra runs, but overall we really swung the bats well.
How exciting was it for you to get back home to play the 3-game series at Eastwood Field, and for the fans to come to Eastwood Field and cheer on the Penguins?
Yeah, there's really nothing like home, and just for our players, the energy level was a lot different. Just the routine that we're in, when we're home and having the home fans there. We had a great crowd this weekend, and gave us a little extra energy. And it was just overall, the weather was great. It was just a really good weekend for baseball.
All right, so Wright State comes into town, and it's a quick turnaround compared to the rest of the schedule. We made mention before you came on board, Skip, that Wright State is the only team in which the Penguins are doing a 2-week turnaround. I don't know if that's going to work as an advantage or not, but Wright State, we went to Dayton 2 weeks ago and played Wright State. The quick turnaround, is it going to work as something of an advantage in terms of the emotion of trying to get back at these guys?
I think maybe more from like a training standpoint. You already know with everyone else in the league, you're still kind of guessing just because you haven't played them yet. Where now we know each other pretty well, and we can kind of focus on some of the things that they did well against us, and ways in which we can prepare a little bit differently to be ready for them this weekend. So I think maybe from a preparation standpoint, it helps. I don't think there's a whole lot of carryover between series as far as wanting to do any better than we did the last time. I mean, we're trying to win every time we go out there, and focus on our opponent. But I do think from a scouting perspective, I think it makes things a little bit easier going into this weekend.
What did they do in 2 weekends ago that was so successful for them, and the ways that you're going to be able to try to combat that this weekend when Wright State comes to Youngstown?
Well, I think it starts and ends for both teams, for the most part on the mound. And I didn't think we did a great job on the mound as far as our strike throwing and just our execution of pitches against them. We made some adjustments with Colin Clark, and he came out last weekend in an abbreviated start and threw the ball extremely well. So we're looking forward to seeing him kind of make those adjustments against them and have a really good start for us. And but they're a very good team. I mean, they're 12-0 in the conference. They've really out-hit everybody so far this year. So I think from a pitch calling and a pitch execution standpoint, we're going to have to make some adjustments on what we're doing. And then, offensively, for them on the mound, they have, 3 guys that are probably top 10 round draft picks on the mound. I mean, they have 3 serious guys. And I didn't think we did a very good job of, we chased so many pitches. I mean, I think we hit 180 on the weekend against them. We struck out a ridiculous amount of times. They didn't walk anybody. We just were out coached, out played, out everything against them last weekend. So it started last week in practice, just making those adjustments on really being disciplined in the strike zone and making some adjustments with 2 strikes on kind of how they pitch and where they pitch. And just I thought we did a good job with that this weekend. Even when the game was out of control, when it was 18-1, I thought our guys did a great job not chasing balls out of the zone. Take your walks when you can. They battled with 2 strikes. We were able to draw some walks even when they got behind 0-2. So that's going to be really important against them, is just really focus. We can't give them any at-bats. I thought we were a little too swing happy. We chased a lot of balls out of the strike zone, especially early in counts. And then, with their stuff, if you get yourself behind too much because you're chasing, it's really hard to hit with 2 strikes against them. So we'll be much more disciplined in the zone. And we didn't play great defense either. I think we made 6 errors on the weekend against Wright State. And that's very unusual for our defense to not play well.
Is there a sense of urgency, given the fact that you're playing this team for a second time? You always want to improve. I mean, and Wright State's the benchmark of this league, and you always want to be able to improve, especially against the perceived top team in the league. Is there a sense of urgency to get it right and to not fall into bad habits this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, we just want to continue to get better and play well every weekend. I really think that was really the only weekend all year where we just didn't play well. It started a little bit with IPFW, but we're in a much better place now. And playing at their place is tough. They've been exceptionally good at home. I think they have like one of the nation's longest winning streaks at home. So they're tough to beat there. You get them here on our field. We're one of the only dirt surfaces in the conference, so there'll be a little bit of an adjustment for them. But yeah, I mean, you don't put too much stock in any series in the entire year just because it's so early in the season. Everybody's pretty much in the mix. Wright State's really separated themselves, so it's just kind of crazy how it worked out that we play them 2 times out of the first 3 conference weekends.
Dan Burtolini, he is running the YSU baseball program, the skipper of the YSU baseball program. He joins us every Tuesday at this time on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. I got to ask before we even keep into the baseball talk, has your bracket burned in hell like mine?
I didn't even do one, honestly.
Oh, there you go.
I really did not follow college basketball much at all this year, just with everything going on, and had my 3rd kid in the fall, so just I don't have much time to watch much college basketball, but it's been a wild time. It's been exciting to see all those teams, being able to win, and I think that's a sign of just what's going on in college athletics, just with the rosters being a little bit different. There's a lot of older players playing in the league, not as many guys. Some of those teams that are playing, that upset teams have a lot of players back from previous years, and a lot of those top players that usually go to those big Power 5 programs like Duke and Kentucky and Kansas, they went to like that G League or whatever. So you miss out on some of those top 10 program changing guys, and then it kind of makes everyone a little bit more even.
Is this a sign of things to come on the baseball field? Because you can argue the same thing for for baseball. A lot of the kids, they decided to go into minor league baseball instead of going to the major colleges. And with the pandemic last year, there's an awful lot of change where mid-majors are pretty damn good in baseball this year.
Oh, look up and down in college college baseball. Look at the scores. I mean, there's so many mid-majors beating Power 5 teams. I mean, the number one team in the country has pretty much changed every single week. Really anybody can beat anybody on a given weekend. So, a lot of teams are loaded with upperclassmen and just a lot of guys back. So it's just a really great time for college baseball. And if you haven't been following it, like, this is a great year to do it. It's exciting. There's a lot of, you look around online, you can see the home run hammer that they have at Virginia Tech when they hit a home run. Like, it's just exciting. It's just a lot different game than the Major League Baseball. It's more tailored for the players and the fans.
Let's talk a little bit about one of your players, Blaze Glenn, and he lives up to his name when this kid's in a zone. My goodness, was he in a zone on Sunday and arguably throughout the entire weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I had a talk with him after the first game on Saturday. I just kind of called him in, and he's been in a little bit of a funk, and I just kind of talked to him about, like, he's been one of our best guys, if not the best player in our team for 3 years, and just wasn't carrying himself that way. He's a difference maker. I mean, he's a complete game changer when he's going good, and you can just tell the body language, the energy was just different in the second game. And he's, when his jersey is completely dirty, we're going to win a lot of games. That means I think he had 3 doubles on Sunday. I mean, only one of them was like a for sure double where he hit a ball off the fence. The other 2 were hustle doubles. He could steal bases. He's just a game changer. He's played great defense. And we needed him. We need him to get going, and that was huge for us, because if he can get going, I think he raised his average like 100 points. I mean, he's hitting over 300 now. He's a big part of our offense. So when he's going good, we're going really good.
Is that a scenario where once he gets going, everyone else in the middle of that lineup and up and down the lineup, everyone gets going? Is he the spark that ignites the flame?
Well, I think you just don't have you're just trying to keep a continuous loop. You don't want any breaks in the chain. And when we moved him down a little bit, I put him in the 6th hole for the second game on Saturday and the game on Sunday, and it just like made our lineup kind of more complete. Sometimes it's just an order thing. Depending on where you're hitting, you get a little bit different pitches, or you get you're just in a little bit different situations, and it just maybe freed him up a little bit. But yeah, when he's going good, because we've had some other guys that have been off to some good starts, and then it just every guy in that lineup now can do something to hurt the other team, to really help our opportunity to win.
Yeah, when this team is hitting, holy smokes! You combine that with your very impressive starting rotation and your bullpen. All of a sudden, this Penguin team becomes a really, really tough team to deal with day in, day out.
Yeah, I mean, I think our starting pitching allowed only 3 runs on the weekend. Colin Floyd threw 8 innings, allowed 2 runs. I think Colin Clark threw 4 scoreless, and John Snyder threw, I don't know what it was, 6 innings, gave up 1 run. So that's a pretty tough combination to deal with. So if we can put some runs up on the board, it really puts a lot of pressure on the other team to try to score some runs.
All right, you're in the middle of a really impressive homestand. You've got 4 against Wright State to go along with a 3 that in which you played St. Bonaventure, and then next week 4 more against UIC. There's a big difference between staying at home and sleeping in your own bed and not having to go on a bus or an airplane and go from destination A to destination B.
Absolutely. This is just a comfort thing, and it does take a lot out of you traveling that much. The first, typically sometimes we're 6 weeks on the road to start the year, so we're fortunate to get that home series against St. Bonaventure, and then the schedule kind of worked out perfectly for us. But it's important for us to to play well at home. This is our house, and we want to protect it, and we want to play great baseball while we're here. So we take a lot of pride in playing here, and looking forward to hopefully, playing a great weekend of baseball against Wright State.
Wright State comes to town. They are the defending champs. They're in first place in the league. Obviously, it's a great 4-game series for the Penguins. Weather may or may not be able to get all 4 of them in. If the weather kind of makes things to where we're not able to play all 4 games, is there a avenue to make these games up, or is this one of those series, or the rest of the year going to be you're only going to play the games in which you are playing for that weekend?
Yeah, I feel we'll get these games in. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't be able to play this weekend. But if you don't play a game, or you don't, something gets happened, you just get canceled. There's no makeup games, so it looks like I think we're going to be fine for a Friday evening game, and Saturday looks beautiful, and then Sunday could be dodging some rain at times. But I feel good about Eastwood's in good shape, and the dirt's pretty exceptionally dry because we haven't really had a lot of rain other than maybe one day last week. So, but yeah, we can't. We're not. There's no makeups. So if a series would get washed, you could pick somebody else up to play. But as far as makeups, that's it. You just plays in front of you.
How cool is it to play on a minor league baseball field and just a stadium that I consider to be one of the really, really good stadiums in low minor league baseball, and I honestly look forward to the draft league later in the year. But how cool is it to play in a stadium that is that quality?
Yeah, it's great. It's great. The field was in good shape, especially for being so early on. It was in really nice shape, and I thought the crowd was fantastic this weekend. So it's we're we love playing at home, and we love playing here, and looking forward to playing a lot of games here this year.
Dan Burtolini, the manager of the YSU baseball program, joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. Penguins opening up a 4-game series at home against Wright State. Is there anything that you guys are going to be doing, or the university is going to be doing in terms of giveaways this weekend to entice more of the fans to come out and support the Penguins?
I don't think so. Just with home football, I mean, I think all of our sports teams are playing at home this weekend, so it's been sparse as far as just bodies being able to help with everyone. A lot of our sports information and administrators are getting pulled in 15 different directions. So but we didn't need a whole lot of motivation for people to come out last weekend. I think we probably had, close to probably 500 fans out for the weekend. It was a beautiful weekend, and hopefully if it's beautiful like that again, you get to come out and see some great baseball.
Yeah, at the very least, those that are going to Stambaugh to watch the Penguins play North Dakota wholeheartedly suggest that after the game is over, make a day of it and travel up to Eastwood and catch the second game of the doubleheader.
Yeah, we had a decent amount of people that did that last weekend. Caught the football game at noon and were able to get out here. We played. It was a very fast first game. I think we were done in 2 hours and 20 minutes. So some people that were coming from the football game actually were a little late for even the second one. But yeah, it'd be a great day of it. It's going to be a beautiful day on Saturday, so that'd be great if you check out a football game and come on out and cheer on the Penguins playing some baseball.
Yeah, if only Major League Baseball could have 2 hour and 20-minute games. I think that would be so much fun for the fans, but that's another story for another time, I guess.
Yep.
Dan Burtolini joining us on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. All right, so the rotation is set for the 4-game series, and what are we looking at this weekend, Skip?
Yep, it'll be the same. Colin Clark on Friday, Colin Floyd in Game 1, Nick Perez in Game 2, and then John Snyder on Sunday. So, look, they've done a great job, all year really executing pitches. Looking forward to those guys giving us a great opportunity to win some baseball games.
Is Nick Perez stretched out to where you expect him to go 6+ innings if you need him to?
Yeah, he went 6+ against IPFW. Typically, if Colin Clark has done a good job on Fridays, he gets us a quality start with 6+ innings from him. Our bullpen's usually in really good shape, and then in the 7-inning game, it's really Colin Floyd's game to go get. He very rarely does he go under 7 innings on the mound. So then that leaves us, all hands on deck for games 3 and 4. So if Perez can give us a quality start, then we feel really good with the depth in our bullpen to be able to, piece that one together the rest of the way. And then John Snyder on Sunday, who's done a phenomenal job for us as well. So those first 2 guys are huge for our staff, just because they've given us such good quality starts and allowed our bullpen to not get too stretched out and not have to throw too many guys multiple days. And we can be pretty strategic with when we use some guys in those situations.
Dan, let's talk a little bit about the roster makeup at this point of the year. And we were talking about conference games. You can go a certain amount of people. With home games, how does the roster get determined for home games? Can everyone dress during the home games?
Yeah, everyone dresses. Only 30 players are active. So, that's decisions that we make prior to the start of the weekend, and then those guys are active. The other guys, wouldn't be active, but are still, doing everything like normal. Just a weird year. Typically, there's no active rosters at home. Everyone's active, but because of the pandemic and just with travel restrictions, there's usually no travel restrictions during the year, so you could take your full team on every road trip if you wanted to. But with them limiting the rosters to 30 for home game or for the visiting team, they felt that it was only fair to do it to the home teams as well to make the lineups fair.
I know that with the restricted rosters, a lot of kids that have not been able to get much action, but during the course of the week in practice, everyone is eligible to practice, and I would imagine that those that are either redshirting or those that are not getting a whole lot of action, they're getting a ton of opportunities in each of the practices.
Yeah, we have 3 or 4 guys today that didn't throw much or if any of this weekend that are going to throw live and a couple of swings. The back ends, kind of our bullpen, there's a couple guys that are going up and down and just trying to figure out, who's at the peak that's going to help us on the weekend. So those are good evaluating times for those guys to get their, to get the juices going a little bit like a live game, and it's a little bit more than a bullpen, allowing them to just continue to get better throughout the year, because typically we'd be playing, every Tuesday or every Tuesday and Wednesday, and those would be those opportunities for those guys to get chances in the game. But without having midweeks, it's tough because, if your pitcher, especially from a pitching standpoint, if your starting pitchers go deep into the games, you might only use 7 guys on a weekend, and we're deep from a bullpen standpoint, and it's just tough to get those guys in, especially if you're playing close games. You're not really getting anybody opportunities. You're not getting them, hey, go in and get us a couple innings here, when every game is so meaningful in conference. Typically in a midweek, it's you're trying to win every game, but you're also, those are good times to get some evaluation, to get some experience for some of the guys that aren't playing as much. And without having those, it is a lot more challenging for us from a developmental standpoint.
I would imagine the everyday players as well. I mean, because you want to have a set lineup in conference play, especially if you've got starters at every single position, and the Tuesday, Wednesday games can be used. Hey, we'll give you a day off if you need a day off, and mix and match your lineup a little bit. I would imagine that it's the same thing with the everyday players.
Yeah, I mean, we have a good feeling right now of where we are as far as the everyday guys, but yeah, I mean, a lot of times too, it's a good time to boost your batting average. Get some. You're facing teams number 5, number 6, number 7 pitchers, plus maybe some of their weaker bullpen arms during the week. And, just the repetition, the playing every day sort of gets some guys in a rhythm. Every weekend now is sort of like opening weekend. You basically go a full week without playing in a real game. So it's almost like football where you just prepare all week for that weekend. You don't get that midweek tune-up where some guys can work some things out if they're needed to do, whether it's their two-strike approach or whether we're trying to change something mechanically from an offensive standpoint. Plus, it's just good to get some experience, for some of our young guys, that they just get those experience in those midweeks. But without having those, it's hard to experiment on the weekends when the conference games mean everything, and we're trying to compete.
Dan Burtolini, best of luck to you this weekend. Penguins taking on Wright State at Eastwood Field. Tickets are available. You got a single game on Friday at 5. Doubleheader on Saturday. Game 1 begins at 1 o'clock. Game 2 will start around 4:30. And then the final game of the series this Sunday, Palm Sunday, at 1 p.m. at Eastwood Field. We got some serious retribution to Wright State this weekend, hopefully.
Well, yeah. Anyone that comes here, we want to send them home with a sour taste in their mouths. But yeah, people make every series out to be more than it is. It's a 4-game series against a conference team. We're going to be focused and expect to play great baseball. Expect to win games against whoever comes in here, and just so happens to be Wright State. So we expect to send them home with a little bit of a sour taste in their mouth.
All right, best of luck to you this weekend, Skip.
All right, thanks.
You got it. Dan Burtolini, he is the manager of the YSU baseball team, and hopefully they do send Wright State home with a sour taste in their mouth and then some. That is coming up this weekend at Eastwood Field. This will be a 4-gamer against Wright State. And then next weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, UIC coming into Eastwood Field as the Penguins will play another 4-gamer against UIC on Easter week. But it won't be Easter Sunday. It'll be Thursday, doubleheader on Friday, and a single game on Saturday of next week. So there you go. All right, 330-886-0813. We're back in a bit. It is a Tuesday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Hi, this is Jim Myers with Myers Family Insurance, your local Medicare and retirement resource. We're excited to have sports back. Whether you're on the field or cheering from the stands, sports unifies communities and brings hope for the future. We're all one team working together. At Myers Family Insurance, we know the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Baird Brothers remains your source for fine hardwood products. For For the time being, we're open for customer pickup only on weekdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Saturday from 9 a.m. till noon. Place your order online at BairdBrothers.com. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
The 4M Company, being an architect and construction manager for over 40 years, has had the opportunity to use many different electrical businesses for our projects. The depth, quality, and knowledge and attention to detail displayed by Dickey Electric makes them stand out above all the rest.
For state-of-the-art expertise and a timeless commitment to our customers, contact Joe Dickey Electric. We are everything electrical.
The 2021 Auto Show must go on. Exclusively at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Save more during the Extra Mile Auto Show with employee pricing for everyone on some of our most popular models. Plus, get an additional $1,000 on the value of your trade. Schedule a test drive today to experience the 2021 lineup for yourself.
Visit GreenwoodAutoShow.com
to see how Greenwood Chevrolet can go the extra mile for you.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
At Hubbard Chevrolet, Hubbard can help you get the financing you need regardless of your situation. I'm Tony Page, and I've helped thousands of customers in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania buy a vehicle. Bad credit, no problem. I can get you approved for a low-interest loan and maybe even a low-payment lease on a new car at the #1 Chevy dealership in Trumbull County for 3 years in a row. Visit HubbardChevy.com to get pre-approved or come see me, Tony Page, to get a new vehicle today. Remember, folks, Hubbard can help.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business. 330-886-0813. That's 330-886-0813. Now, the NFL Draft is going to be live and in person in Cleveland. Roger Goodell, he is going to be in Cleveland for the NFL Draft. The draft is set for April the 29th. They are going to be using various locations: First Energy Stadium, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and the Science Museum are going to be the 3 areas in which the fans are going to be all meandering about. All of the fans are going to be allowed to attend the outdoor festivities, and we'll see how many fans exactly. I don't know what they're talking about in terms of a number of people. I'm sure it will probably be scaled down. They're talking about super fans being allowed to go into a mosh pit of sorts with the draft over at First Energy Stadium. A little disappointed that they wouldn't get the Hall of Fame, the NFL Hall of Fame, involved in this. Given the fact that the Pro Football Hall of Fame is located about an hour away in Canton, this makes way too much sense to have the draft, obviously, in Cleveland, but to have the draft or the draft party also at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I think that just makes up all kinds of sense. I mean, this is where football was born. This is where the Hall of Fame is. Take control of that. It's wonderful that we get it in Cleveland, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. But I think that the city of Canton should be a part of this as well, not just Cleveland. Again, considering the fact the Pro Football Hall of Fame is an hour down the road, I would have thought the National Football League would have been all over wanting to make Canton part of this, but apparently not. So, hopefully the draft will go on without a hitch. Hopefully we'll have a lot of fans, though I would probably guesstimate that it won't be anywhere close to being a, quote, normal draft party, given with everything that's still going on. But I'm sure they will also make it a point and this goes along with what I was saying earlier, not to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but those that are going to get vaccinated, I think that those are the people that are going to get first dibs on whether or not they want to go to this thing. And this goes to the theory of what I think, and I don't know. I obviously don't know this to be true, but I have a strange feeling that this is going to be one of those situations moving forward as we surely get away from this year-plus horrendous virus that's been that is, well, in a lot of ways, grinded us to a standstill. I know a year ago at this time, a lot of us here at YSN were joking around saying, well, I guess we're going to have to do some tap dancing to talk about things that are hopefully going to be happening in the near future. And, truth be told, it was tough. It was a very difficult time period. Now, fortunately, we've made some inroads, and knock on wood, the inroads are going to be even more magnified in a good way as we embark on the start of the spring sports season. And hopefully we will have no issues with any of the teams in the spring sport issue. And then by the fall, knock on wood, hopefully everything gets back to normal. But I get the feeling that this draft, this NFL draft, that the people that they're hoping to invite in this, I have a feeling that those people that are going to get invited in this, they're also going to be people that just so happen to have been vaccinated twice. I'm just saying. I think this is, I don't want to say it's going to be the norm, but I have a sneaking suspicion about that for the near future. I just really do. I hope I'm wrong on that, but I have a sneaking suspicion on that. Anyway, sports, the high school sports will start the spring sports season starting pretty quick. Baseball and softball get underway for real on Saturday. Had an opportunity yesterday to see a scrimmage. The Boardman JVs taking on the Streetsboro JVs, and the game was at 5 o'clock and got 5 innings in. Made mention of this earlier, and it is a little bit of a difference between playing the game now as opposed to playing the game in May and June when you get a whole lot more daylight to work with. Right now, if you're playing a game at 5 o'clock, you got a little over 2 hours to get a 7-inning game in. And I'm hoping that this year players are getting on and getting off the field pretty quickly here. that everyone is getting situated, getting ready to start the inning, and you're moving into the field, moving off the field, and you're moving the game along as quickly as possible, because you only have a certain amount of time. If you're starting a game at 5 o'clock, which most games start either at 4:30 or 5 o'clock, based on a 5 o'clock start, you're only looking at about a little over 2 hours of daylight. Now, with the 4:30 start, okay, now you're starting to get an extra half hour. And that extra half hour will equal at least an inning, maybe an inning and a half. But all of this is going to depend on the kids quickly getting off the field and quickly, putting the bats down, get the gloves on, get your butt out there, and get ready to go. Get moving. Because again, playing a baseball game now and into the month of April is going to be a lot different if you're scheduling a 4:30 game than it is, say, in May and June when B-League starts. Because, now B-League, you're going to have lights. So, but in any place that doesn't have lights, you have more sunlight to work with the further down the road to June 21st, because June 21st is the longest day of the year, where you will have the most sun and the most daylight the entire year. And then we slowly start to work backwards, where the sun is going to set earlier every so often, earlier by a minute or so each day. So it's, again, right now, this time period now and probably through late April, got to move the game along as quickly as possible. So hopefully the coaches are doing a great job telling the kids, hey, got to move on the field, got to get off the field as quickly as you can, because if you're playing a 4:30 game, you're playing a 5 o'clock game, you only have a certain amount of daylight to get this thing accomplished. Now, if you're playing a game at Scene, if you're playing a game at Fitch, obviously you have the benefit of lights, and then that takes that out of the equation. But most of the schools don't have lights. The only light that you're dealing with is the light provided by Mother Nature, that big old ball in the sky, fireball in the sky, and play your game as quickly as you can. Make sure that game is completely finished before darkness sets in, because if you don't have lights in the stadium, you're simply not going to finish a game if you're still playing baseball at 7:10 or 7:15. That's not going to happen. So hopefully, as we embark on the start of baseball and softball this weekend, the kids will get on the field and get off the field as quickly as possible to make sure that they get as many, if not all, of their regular season games in as humanly possible. We'll take a timeout, be back with more. It is a Tuesday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Right now is a great time to get more for your trade-in at Tri-State Ford and drive home in a new or pre-owned vehicle. Choose from our great selection of new Ford models or pre-owned vehicles. Plus, get the Tri-State Ford Advantage, including a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty and more. At Tri-State Ford, we'll pay you top dollar for your trade, but you don't have to purchase one of ours to sell us yours.
Customer focus, community driven. Tri-State Ford East Liverpool or visit tristateford.net.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
Your teams work hard and give it all they've got. Well, so does ours, because 21 Sports and YSN give you extra effort when covering local sports. 21 Sports and YSN, winning coverage of our Valley's teams.
No matter what the weather, be prepared with a reliable, efficient Rude gas furnace or air conditioner from MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Call your energy efficient expert, MP Vivo, today for a free estimate.
Here at MP Vivo, we rely on Rude, and so should you.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online.
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
On social media and on our app.
Notice we'll have scattered showers on Thursday.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Save more during the Extra Mile Auto Show with employee pricing for everyone on some of our most popular models. Plus, get an additional $1,000 on the value of your trade. Schedule a test drive today to experience the 2021 lineup for yourself.
Welcome back as we close up shop on this Tuesday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Spring training baseball down in Bradenton. The Pirates are leading the Minnesota Twins 1-0 as they go to the bottom half of inning number 7 in Bradenton. Let's see, DeJong got the start, went 3 2/3 innings, surrendering just 1 hit, struck out 2 in the process. Minnesota has just 2 hits in the ballgame. The Buccos only run scoring on a home run by Frazier, his first of the year. The Pirates have 6 hits in the game. Frazier has 2. Brian Hayes has a hit as well. So does Eric Gonzalez. Goodwin, the center fielder. What is his first name? Brian Goodwin, who's patrolling center field today for the Pirates, and the backup shortstop to Gonzalez, who replaced him in the contest, has a hit as well. They're in the middle of the 7th inning. Buccos lead the Twins 1-0. We made mention the Pirates. It'd be an interesting year for the Pirates. It's a rebuilding year of sorts. The Pirates trading away a lot of their talent that they figured either through free agency coming up or you weren't going to be around when this team is ready to compete, whether it's as you're going to be gone as a free agent or you're going to be 1 year away from being gone. They traded away as much talent as they did, got their farm system back to a top 10 type of farm system. I think the Baseball America had him at number 12 before the explosion of trades in the winter meetings and leading up to spring training. The last I saw, I think the Pirates are now number 8 or number 9 in terms of the best farm system in baseball. So it'll probably be a year in which the Pirates drop close to 100 games this year. But it is going to be a year in which you'll probably see an awful lot of the talent that's percolating right now in the farm system making its way up into Pittsburgh. And keep in mind, Pirates do select first in the MLB draft, which will be coming up All-Star Weekend when the All-Star game is played in Atlanta. All right, Power Hour is coming up next. It is National Puppy Day today. So shout out to my dog, Buster, who hasn't figured out how to turn on the internet yet. That's okay, pup. It's all right. I'll give him extra treats today just because. So National Puppy Day today. Happy Puppy Day to my boy Buster. All right, that'll do it for the show. DJ and the boys coming up next. We'll talk tomorrow. Anthony Hardwig will be in studio. Brian Tolnar from Mill Creek will be checking in as he always does every Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Make it a great rest of the day, everyone. We'll talk tomorrow.